Today, we're diving into the fascinating legal saga known as the Tichborne Case. It captivated Victorian England in the 1860s and 1870s. At its heart, it's about a man claiming to be Sir Roger Tichborne, the presumed heir who disappeared in a shipwreck. How did this claim come about, and who exactly was this so-called claimant?
The claimant's story begins when Roger Tichborne was presumed dead after a shipwreck in 1854. His mother held on to the hope that he survived, which led her to place advertisements for him in Australian newspapers. It wasn't until 1866 that a butcher from Wagga Wagga, Arthur Orton, claiming to be Roger, stepped forward. He gained the support of many, including Lady Tichborne herself.
It's remarkable that a butcher could convince so many people, especially Lady Tichborne. But he was later identified by some as Arthur Orton. How did his identity become a contentious issue?
The issue of identity escalates throughout the process. While Lady Tichborne accepted him, many family members were dismissive. In fact, most Tichbornes quickly identified him as an imposter. The claimant struggled to prove his identity in court when his inability to recall certain family details led to doubts.
What role did the legal proceedings play in this case? It must have been complex not just legally but also in terms of public opinion.
Absolutely. The legal battles began in 1871 with the civil case known as Tichborne versus Lushington, aiming to establish the claimant's identity and his rights to the Tichborne estates. The proceedings dragged on for years, influencing public perception immensely. Many viewed the claimant's struggle as a fight for justice, which garnered him popular support despite the growing evidence against him.
And then, there was the infamous criminal trial for perjury. How did that unfold?
The criminal case, Regina vs. Castro, began in 1873. It lasted nearly a year and was chaotic, with the claimant's defense filled with personal attacks and conspiracies. Ultimately, he was found guilty of perjury. The trial was notable for its length and the various witnesses that were brought forth, many claiming he was Arthur Orton.
It sounds like public sentiment may have shielded him for a time, despite the evidence being stacked against him.
Indeed, he was able to appeal to the public as a symbol of class struggle, which complicated the proceedings. Even after his conviction, many supported him. They saw the case as larger than just an individual. It represented working-class struggles against a powerful elite.
This must have fueled the integrity of his supporters. What happened to the claimant after the trials?
After serving about 10 years, he was released in 1884. However, he never regained the popular support he once had. He attempted various endeavors, including a brief outburst of fame in music halls, but ultimately lived a life marked by poverty.
And he confessed to being Orton in his later years? How did that impact the legacy of the case?
Yes, in 1895, he confessed in a newspaper, only to recant soon after. This interplay of identity and lies continued to perplex historians and researchers. The case still raises questions about how identity and belief can shape reality.
A truly complex narrative, one that's relevant even today. Some still believe there could be more to this story than meets the eye. What are some recent thoughts on the case?
Good question. Recent discussions even contemplate DNA testing to resolve the identity mystery of the claimant. Many dismiss Hutchinson's claims, but ponder the incredible complexity of identity, far beyond a simple story of imposture.
It's a riveting saga of identity, deception, and class struggle. Thank you for breaking down the Tichborne case. There's always more to uncover.